Dear Mom.
Dear Mom.
Dear new mom.
Dear Mom.
Dear Mom.
Dear pregnant mom.
I was just like you.
By now, you've probably spent countless hours researching how to have a healthy pregnancy and how to keep your baby safe.
But if you're like me, there's probably something you may be forgetting.
It's something I and thousands of other mothers like myself did not research.
I just trusted my doctor. I trusted my doctor.
I trusted my doctor.
I trusted my pediatrician.
I trusted my pediatrician.
I thought the science was settled.
Isn't the science settled?
My doctor told me the science was settled.
I didn't know that my pediatrician only went through a few pages of education about vaccines.
I only knew the mantra that vaccines are safe and effective.
I didn't research vaccine safety myself.
My doctor told me my child could die without his vaccines.
Turns out my doctors didn't know.
My pediatrician had no clue.
My OB did not know anything about vaccines.
And neither did I.
After vaccines, my daughter was not healthy. She was constantly sick.
When my child was vaccinated, he seemed to get sicker.
After vaccines, my children developed 19, 21, and 22 different food intolerances.
After vaccines, my son's eyes swelled shut. He had a high-pitched scream that sounded like somebody was stabbing him.
I was not told that 4 days later he would have a fever of 106.5.
He was given 6 vaccines in one sitting to catch up to his older brother. And for the next 4 days, we had to put him in, he had fevers, projectile vomiting, diarrhea.
After vaccines, my child developed encephalopathy. He had a high fever.
I watched my boys scream in pain from brain encephalitis.
He developed high candida in his gut.
He developed terrible GI pain.
When my child turned 2, and he already had not one, but several other onset seizures, I started to question.
2 hours after my daughter received her DPT vaccine, she had a 5-minute seizure.
And she developed grand mal seizures, one of which almost killed her.
He then had episodes where he stopped breathing and required excessive stimulation and resuscitation.
He developed eczema.
He had eczema.
He had eczema all over his body. He was breaking out in hives.
He broke out in a measles-like rash.
Rashes and fevers of unknown origin.
His eyes would cross and he would lose control of them.
She stopped making eye contact.
He had language, and then after the vaccines, he lost all language.
I had his hearing tested because he stopped responding to his name. He could hear perfectly well.
He lost all speech. He began to headbutt us and injure himself.
I watched them lose language and connection.
He stopped saying, "I love you." He was gone.
His nursery school teacher called me, and she never called me.
In school, they started complaining about some of his behaviors.
She breathed out of a hole in her neck. She was fed through a G-tube. She was cortically blind. She never walked, and she never talked.
I have 2 boys who are vaccine injured and a daughter who is vaccine free and healthy.
I didn't know that thousands of other moms out there were just like me. They had perfectly healthy children until they vaccinated them.
And watched their children's health decline.
I ignored my instincts.
I trusted my doctor.
I trusted the CDC.
I trusted the propaganda that says don't ask questions.
And I'll never forgive myself.
So please, don't be like me.
Please don't be like me.
Don't be like me.
Research vaccines and trust your instincts.
Don't let my mistake be your mistake.
Love a remorseful mother.
Love a regretful mother.
Love an informed mother.